When Kronos became king, a prophecy was made that he would be overthrown by his own son. This prophecy was fulfilled by his youngest, Zeus. After a war lasting 10 years, the Titans were banished to the depths of Tartarus, and Zeus sat on the throne of Olympus, his brothers and sisters by his side. The gods revelled in their new kingdom, ruling over the mortals that lived in Elysium, a kingdom named so as to be a paradise for all those who lived there. And for a time, all was well. But gods are prideful beings, and soon began to bicker and argue amongst themselves, turning a blind eye to the realm of mortals. Zeus saw this, and saw how the mortals had also begun to fight one another in the absence of the gods' presence. A mighty thunderstorm swelled around Olympus as Zeus made a decree. The gods would no longer remain idle, but instead be sent unto Elysium, where they would be given a city to rule as they saw fit. Only Zeus would remain on Olympus, to ensure that his laws were upheld. Unhappy with this order, but unwilling to incur their father's wrath and risk being felled by his thunderbolts, the gods made their way down to Elysium to live among the mortals. Each god moulded his or her city into their own image, whether that be the beautiful marble temples of Aphrodite or the towering spires of the arcane Hecate. The mortals rejoiced to be in the presence of the Olympians, and peace was restored again. No longer able to interfere with each other as before, the gods now use mortal champions to do their bidding. Through time, mortals have dedicated their lives into performing great deeds to gain the gods' favour, become their champion, and enter their names into legend. But peace can never last forever, and dire plots are brewing in Elysium. The war god Athena, as wise as she is beautiful, has gone missing. As tensions rise amongst the Olympians, other forces work quietly, and whispers are spreading that the reign of Olympus is coming to an end.
Hello, yeah, still apparently can't work the fucking microphone and sound on this thing. Hello everybody, welcome to Have a Go Heroes, where the only difference between awful and awesome is a hangover. Yes, welcome to episode 23 of Have a Go Heroes. We just a couple of announcements before we go to the identity thing and then do the recap, and then we'll hop right in. No Chloe at the minute, she's still not very well. We do have Lorraine back with us. Hi Lorraine.
No.
Yes. Who is feeling well enough to join us, but sadly Chloe is still feeling under the weather. We hope she feels better soon. Also, we have a giveaway going on at the minute on our Twitch. We're on Twitch. On Twitter. The other twit. Yeah, the other twit. That actually describes them so well. But yeah. There is a handmade dice box made by Rebecca from the campaign on a Friday that we are giving away, and we will announce the winner on Monday. So to win that, you just need to go over to the Twitter, which is up that way. So yeah, at Tag Heroes. Yeah, pretty much exactly there. At Tag Heroes. And it's the pinned tweet, so you can find out how to do it. And then around the break, I'll say there's another way for people that are actually watching to also get an entry. So you can have basically up to 3 entries per person and win the dice box. We're doing giveaways like that, maybe not every week, but we'll be doing it frequently. So keep an eye out, because there'll definitely be more dice boxes, dice bags, dice. And around June, maybe a certain cool source book. We'll see. But yeah, no other things to announce, so we will get to the ident, and then we'll do a quick recap for you guys and for Lorraine. of what happened last session. See you in a mo. Hello. So last session you guys reluctantly attended the Halfling Festival at the Delphinian Crossroad after securing your luggage of the feral, previously cursed child and keeping that safe. You each went and explored different aspects and things going on at the festival. Runt made a halfling friend named Malison. I believe Kaya and Ness went to bed very... not Ness.
Nim.
Dang it, every time. Every time.
Is it so hard, Luke?
Apparently it is, Roger. Kaya and Nim were feeling very sleepy, so they went to bed early, but they may have been woken up by the commotion just happening, and woken up just in time to pick up where we left off. Mercy met an old acquaintance of yours, Agatha, who is one of the vendors at the festival. Actually bought something from her. It's like a scroll of...
Shocking Grasp.
Shocking Grasp, there you go. And she also had other things available that weren't quite in your price range. But you then, after seeing...
Price range, smice range.
Oh yes, after watching Saray perform, Ness was also charmed and now loves your previously perturbing, planar friend.
He is completely misunderstood.
Oh, completely. No sorts of magic or doohickey going on at all. Yes, you also found out that he is actually a cupid, and you learn a little bit about his backstory, and tried to give him some advice. Didn't really go to plan, but that was more on Saray than anyone else. Yeah, you found that he had lost his love to an incubus, and was determined to get her back some way or other before he wandered off to go be him again. You also then, coming up with a plan to get a few things that you might need, like spell components that Mercy needs for some of your more emergency defibrillating spells, and also whatever else you could get, and maybe to get a little bit of payback on Agatha after she ripped off one of your previous party members out of a wand of web, I believe it was, that she bought from one of your less street smart party members for the sum total of 5 gold, which you seem to have held a grudge about. No idea why. Yeah. So you concocted a plan that, hang on a minute, we have a rogue now. And actually did really well. Runt managed to convince Malison to tell Saray and Agatha that they each had important messages for each other, in order to get Agatha out of the way. And then also Runt decided to go up and distract the 2 orcs that accompany Agatha, her boys, wherever they go.
I'm more than just a pretty face.
Yeah, you also have a weird crockatoo that can do so many weird things that the list keeps getting longer, like its tongue.
He can say cheers, so he's quite clearly a British cockatoo.
Oh yeah, he can say cheers now. And yes, has at least a 4-foot long tongue, and all sorts of other things. But yeah, you managed to distract them successfully enough that Ness was able to acquire a few potions and the diamond that you needed without being caught. You also noticed a symbol that Agatha was part of this world's version of the Thieves Guild, which might make some of her other things make sense. Once you met back together, after heart to hearts and planning and other interactions like that, the last thing that happened was there was a big commotion as seemingly the famed Oracle of Delphi had come to the festival, and now was in attendance with a couple of her guard, and we ended it there. Okay. So, you're all at the festival. You have the components you need, although I don't know if you managed to talk about that yet. And the Oracle of Delphi seems to have joined the festival and is off in the, on the outskirts, being accosted by numerous halflings and guests, and, they're all bowing and kowtowing and, trying to, get an audience with her. What is it that you would all like to do?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave these goblins to it. Well, these two gentlemen who I'm drinking with.
The orcs.
Just rest. Yes, the orcs.
Yes.
Goblins, orcs. They're so interchangeable.
They're
They're still shorter than you.
really not. But sure. Okay, so you're going to leave them to it. And just take Scales back with you, dragging it. No, the tongue's back in the mouth. I remember.
I could pull it by the tongue like a little radio flyer behind me.
I mean, if you want to go into that thing's mouth and see what happens, then you're more than welcome. I will get my dice.
I'm doing it.
Oh gosh, I know it. So you're reaching into Scales' mouth to see if you can find the tongue.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure I have to look that hard.
Roll animal handling.
I'm just going to do a dental check. That is a 18.
18, okay. He lets you. Well, less so being willing and more so being unwitting. You kind of just open it up. As you open his top, jaw, it does, squeak like a rusty hinge. And you see that he does have, his tongue looks like normal size when it's in his mouth. Just placed within his mouth. But you do notice that along the top ridge of his mouth and on the bottom, it has got, tiny teeth, almost like a... Do you know the terrifying sight that is a duck's mouth?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks a bit like that, but fleshy.
Ooh.
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 And you're getting smells of, maple syrup and, dead insects as you open his mouth. And
Not nearly as
coconut.
unpleasant as I thought it would be. Ooh, coconuts, I say.
But yeah, and then you just... And his mouth goes back down and is closed. There you go, another little insight into the wonderful world of the Crockatoo. I would say, what about the two of you? But Christine has disappeared. She's rolled so well on her stealth check that the Fizz rep has now disappeared from the material plane. Lorraine, because we haven't heard from you in the past week, while you were here, and as things are happening with the Thieves Guild and the Diamonds and the Oracle, is there anything that you would like to know or try and assess or anything like that?
After leaving the camp, I've probably headed towards the main stage, because that's where I guess most of them would be.
Yeah.
And just tried to keep an eye out on what's going on in general. Spotting the Oracle turning up, I'm expecting the others might head in that direction, because I haven't seen them yet.
Make a perception check for me to see if you can see your compadres.
That's an 8.
An 8. That's a great roll for a ranger.
That's a pretty poor roll for a ranger.
Yeah, to be fair, everything's kind of quite electric and alive right now, with one, it being like a festival and there's performers and sellers and things like that, but also because the Oracle appears to be in attendance, they have people have flocked from kind of one side of the camp to the other, and it's just a big crowd at the minute, and everyone's trying to almost elbow past each other to get an audience with the celebrity. And they're now just a mass of bodies. Even with your friends that stand out, it appears people are just so enamored and moving around so much that you just can't spot out one individual person or minotaur or sassy angel being thing that there's two of now. Very different ones, but two of. Ness and Mercy, what would you like to do?
Where? Speaking of idiot boy, where is he now?
Which idiot boy? There's a couple of them now.
The one that I actually hate.
Again, that still could be Saray.
Fine.
She tolerates me.
Saray, okay. Saray is like not turned back yet from whatever meeting with Agatha.
So he's still MIA.
He's still MIA. You don't know how well that will have gone. But
I frankly don't care because it was stupid but brilliant. Fine. I don't want to necessarily get too close to the throng of people surrounding the Oracle because that's a little bit out of my depth, personally. However, I'm still wary of being in a group, being in a throng this massive, knowing what's happened. I'd like to try and find as central a location as possible within the current swarm, if I want for a better word. Try and including where the Oracle is in the siege range.
Yeah, so just get a good view basically without being with the rest of them.
But also, while I'm perceiving around, I do want to drop an Eyes of the Grave because because this is the right kind of place for something bad to happen.
Yeah.
So,
and that's just undead, isn't it? Within 60 feet.
Yes, that's why I want to try and get like a nice radius around me.
Okay, no worries. You like push out your sensors, like these innate sensors you have from being a cleric of Persephone, and they return back to you, and there is no sense of undead here at the moment. Maybe the whole spirits thing has just been like over-reported in the media, and it's not quite the pandemic that you thought it might be. But people are still busy stocking up toilet parchment, and sorry, got carried away. Maybe this is
way too meta.
You can never be too meta, can you?
Touché.
So yes, so you don't sense
That's fine.
Any undead. Are you sticking as a party of any kind?
Well, I've no idea.
You're with Ness. So are you sticking with her, or are you just kind of walking off and doing your thing?
Well, I assumed I didn't realise that she'd probably woken up and gone off. So.
No, no, you're getting them mixed up. That's Nim. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see her return because.
Yeah, your rogue is still with you. She hasn't gone off and done the stealth thing yet, because you just came back with the items. You hadn't had time. Yeah, you hadn't had time to discuss what items you had, but you were back as a group and like you will have made your way over by this point. So you will all be as a 3. Kaya still MIA in bed, hopefully getting better. Get well soon, Chloe. And yeah, Nim also MIA, not quite with you. So the 3 of you are together, and you can discuss what you would like to do as a party if you want to.
Well, so far there's no supernatural activity, which is good. But given who is here right now, whether it might attract any unwanted attention is another matter. Whether we want to have a listen to see if the Oracle has anything interesting to say, or we can get a bit closer if you want. But it's not every day they come out in public.
I'm happy to do whatever you want to.
I know. I have to admit, I'm somewhat curious as to why the Oracle might be here.
Well, supposedly invited, perhaps, seemingly as everybody else.
I'm sure she gets many invites. I can't imagine she takes many of them up. I'd be curious to hear what she has to say.
Well, let's get a bit closer then, shall we?
Well, let's.
Okay, so yeah, you make your way closer. It's easier to like move around the crowd that is going towards. Like I say, not the main crowd, but again, it is still quite a busy festival and just got a little bit busier. But it's easy to push your way through to where you want to go, having a huge ass Minotaur and Mercy, who's no like short stack herself. Ness, are you just walking with the party, or are you being sneaky because there's people and? It's
Nah, I'll
You good?
actually hang out with them
You
for
actually
once.
hang out. Okay, no worries. Yes, as you pass from your side of things, you do notice Nim kind of perched by the center stage as well. She is seemingly awake from her catnap.
Hey!
Ah, there you are. This seems to have taken an interesting turn.
Depends how you define interesting.
I've not heard of her coming out very often. But then again, I've been at sea a lot.
You could all roll history for me. This is why I need Kaya. She's from there. You can all roll history for me if you like, to know what you know about the Oracle, like yourselves from growing up on Elysium, or at least spending your living memory in Elysium and around.
15.
I got a 15 as well.
15. Unmute yourself first, Runt. Nope.
Worse than 15 while
Worse
Matt
than-
figures out how to use the mute button.
I've figured it out. Intelligence is my dump stack. It was an 18.
18. Okay.
For a dump
Um,
stat, you don't do bad.
Yeah, between you, you get, you know that, the legends that are in Greek mythology are very true for, like Elysium with the Oracle of Delphi. You always know, you don't know who it is. You don't know if it's one like immortal being or if it's like a title that passed from one person to the next. You've just always known, like, in stories, it's just always known as the Oracle of Delphi. You know that she usually is visited herself. You don't know of any stories where she has left. But then again, all stories that you've heard, she's never the main character. Like, all of the legends that the bards tell and sing songs about are always about these great heroes that will visit the Oracle to get a prophecy of how much of a big, strong, sexy hero they're going to be. But nothing. Yeah, but she's never been like, she's never had her own spin-off, shall we say? So you don't know what she gets up to when she's not being visited by heroes and things like that. So she could travel, but not really not being from Delphi, and the only one that is from Delphi being asleep. You're not sure, but you've never heard of her leaving Delphi before.
Well, this is certainly an odd occurrence. So either someone really, really persuasive has brought her out here, or she must know something.
Either way, it sounds like something that would be interesting to know, at the very least.
So given everything that's been going on, this surely can't be a coincidence.
I mean, we could always try for an audience with her.
Well, let's just get closer and see what happens first, and then see if we can...
Okay, you guys get closer, and once you do get like close enough to see her in person, you spot a couple of things. One of the things is the crowds have kind of not calmed down, but almost formed like a semicircle where they can see her. Behind her, the two like lizard folk escorts and guards are erecting like a small tent of sorts. Grow up. A small tent of sorts, and one of the halflings that presumably works at the festival or like one of the traders is like instructing them on things like that. So it looks like she's setting up a tent for, at least like for now, you don't know what for, but she's setting up that. And while she's doing that, she's kind of just going around and like nodding gently and like occasionally holding the hand of a halfling that speaks to her and things like that. She is head to toe in like a long white like toga-like tunic, kind of a very like a high-necked one that covers like almost all of her skin. She's got like a big like chiffon kind of hood up. Like, it's very soft looking fabric, but it still like covers most of her face. And yeah, her skin seems to be like an olive, kind of very Elysian.
Can we tell if she's human or a different race?
You can make a perception check for me. I'd say you're all about 30 feet. Actually, no, 32 feet, just for any spells, away from her right now. There'll always be one that goes, I fireball the oracle. That's like 120 feet, isn't it?
22, and I do not shoot the oracle.
Thank you.
I'll be a first.
Hey, I don't shoot everything. I just prepare to shoot everything in case I need to. I am mentally prepared to shoot the oracle. Let's be realistic about this.
22 as well.
Okay.
16.
That was weird. It's like, all right, you can have separate scores, guys. Jeez. Okay, 16. You can't really tell. She looks humanoid, quite slight, probably fully grown, but like just not very tall person. But she's quite covered up. Like she has human coloured. That was weird. She has like human.
Sorry.
It's alright. She has human coloured skin, but again, the only skin you can really see is her hands. You can't even see her face from this far away, simply because she's wearing this hood. And even though she's not that tall, most of the citizens wanting her attention are halflings, so she's like bent over and like so the hood is covering her face as well. But the ones that rolled a 22, you do spot, like as she steps up again, you get a glimpse of her face, and again it looks human or possibly like elvish or half elfish of some sort. She's got very like delicate features, which could lend itself to an elf or just a very delicate look, like featured human. One thing you do notice though, she has very clean but wrapped like linen around her eyes, completely covering her eyes. Yes, that is what you get from the article.
Not much I can do with that. Should we get a little closer, hear what she has to say, or we gotta stay here?
Bit closer.
I'd say closer.
You guys are kind of like edging over like baby deer to snacks. Like, we'll get a bit closer now. It's fun. It's almost like you don't trust the DM.
No, so I'm there just picking up halflings and moving
Well,
to the side.
it depends on how many people we have to wade through.
Like I said, there's quite a few people.
But I don't think we have to do too much waiting. We do have a Minotaur. He just steps on them.
Well, apparently he's just like picking them up and just like whoop, whoop. So yeah, you can get as close as you would like to without much trouble. It's just a matter of how close you would like to get.
Oh, I definitely want to get within. Well, I don't want to say within melee range, but within close proximity as possible, just so we can get. Well, at least for me, anyway.
Yep. Thank you, Happy Mogul.
Do you feel like we're overly cautious as players?
Yeah, just a little bit. So yeah, you get close enough, and you hear like the main thing you hear is less her speaking and more just like everybody like towards the front row, and especially those like shouting towards like a few rows back are just like, but what about my mother? It's like, will my crops grow? When will I find my fortune? Should I bet on red or black? You know, lots of...
Ask me if I give a shit.
Yeah, lots of people just trying to get her attention and just, you know, get an audience with the Oracle and just get her to answer these questions about their futures and fortunes and things like that. Thanks, Dan. You hear her. She doesn't answer any of them. She just kind of smiles and like waves and is very like she's quite silent. But she's there like being an audience. like whilst the people behind her are kind of working on this tent. Again, once you, the rest of you get close enough, you see the same features as well, so like the wrapped eyes and the delicate face and hands and like quite slight build. Definitely looks some sort of like human or elf or something like that. But again, she's very, very covered up. You don't know if it's like a religious thing, or whether it's to protect her from the sun, because it is quite still very hot. Because it's even though it's getting towards the winter period on Elysium, it's like the temperature doesn't so much as drop as it just gets a bit edgier, and the crops, don't grow as well and things like that because of Dimmington and her, 6 months long helicopter hissy fit. But yeah, after a little bit, do you try and get her attention now?
Don't know if we should not omit other people.
I'm gonna do it.
I thought you might.
Well, of course you are.
What do you do to try and just get the attention of the Oracle?
I sort of started up and abashedly wave at home. Excuse me.
She just looks at you. Well, you assume she's looking at you. Her head turns towards you. It's a little disconcerting. One, she is quite beautiful looking, but also the wraps around the eyes, meaning that you can't make eye contact with her. But she smiles like a soft smile at you, and just looks towards you as you address her.
Hello there. I'm Brant. I have a couple of questions if you have a moment to answer them.
Hello, Runt. Yes, everyone does usually have questions for me, I understand. I'm sorry, I've been travelling for quite some time, though, to get here. And I will...
That is sort of the nature of the question. I wanted to know why you're here.
Okay, well, I'm more than happy to answer any questions to everyone, and she kind of looks around at the sea of people. But if you don't mind, I would just like to rest for a little while, and then people will be able to come and ask their questions of me once I've had a moment to do so. My compatriots are just setting up a tent for me now, so I may rest a little while from the sun, and then we can do this more formally, shall we say?
Yes, I understand. Is there anything I can do to help your compatriots set up, or anything I can do to help you?
I appreciate it, but they've been bound to me for some time. They're very used to our routine, but I thank you, Alexandros. Thank you. And she just kind of turns on to the next lot of the crowd.
The fuck did she know my name?
Well, she is the Oracle.
Yeah, but I didn't think that was real.
Well, you don't think that you know that magic is real.
I know, but I thought she was like a mentalist, just good at reading people, that kind of shit.
Well, she must be really good at reading people blind. Think there might be some magic involved.
She was pretty good at looking at me, even with the whole blindfold thing going on. Are we sure she's blind?
She might be blind. She might be using magic.
Or she might be really ugly and just trying to hide some of it.
I don't think that is the realistic answer, Rund.
That's the next question mark. Anyway, I suppose we're not going to get a chance to talk to her for a little while.
No, I left some food for the cart-related issue, but someone may want to check on the cart-related issue.
Okay, fine, I'll go.
Okay. As you're leaving to do so, or because that's how things happen in the D&D world, Whenever you're about to leave, something's gonna happen. It's like, oh come on, I just needed the. All right, fine.
I just want to go take a shit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, looks like I'm piling dinner on top of that. Hi. But yeah, as you kind of leave, one of her guards, Escorts kind of steps forward and taps her on the shoulder, and she walks back and goes back into the now built, like small, almost like square teepee tent. The LARPers might know what the name of the tent is. That's like a square bell. Everyone's raving about them right now. But yeah, it's like about 7-meter cubed square kind of area tent. So she has got quite a lot of space in there, but it's just like a very light canvas kind of teepee almost that's been set up. Not smack bang in the middle of nowhere, so everyone can kind of crowd around it, but it's very obvious which one is hers and which one is like the market stalls and things like that. She turns around and like heads into there, and then one of the guards just walks like forward and goes, "The Lady Oracle has been travelling for some time, and we must travel for some time more. We go to help the situation in Athens, as now more than ever, their leaderless people need the guidance that can be offered to them. As such, we will be staying here for but one night only, although we thank you for your hospitality and offers of merriment. I am aware that all of you will want to ask the Oracle questions, but again, as we are here for just the one night, all questions asked of her will be limited to one per person. Please take your time, just decide on your question carefully, and once again, we thank you for your kind hospitality." And he can bows, turns around, and he heads back to the tent as well.
Hmm.
Well, that's made things interesting.
Yes, what is the plan, guys?
Well, I'm still going to check on the thing. So
Yes, no worries. Yeah, you go over. And it's the thing. It's a child, guys. Yeah, she's he.
Well, I didn't want to stay in the middle of the square. Can we go check on the child in the cage?
I mean, that's fair enough. Yeah, you go over and you check, and whilst they're not asleep, they seem well placated. They have the food that you gave to them, and they're just slowly helping themselves to that. They seem quite comfortable not being around all the people, to be honest. And yeah, when you go over, you can see it doesn't look like it's been, although you don't know what the setup was, it looks kind of undisturbed. It's not been pulled back, or there's not obvious signs of people being nosy and trying to see what's behind it. So you imagine that they've probably kept quiet the whole time, and have either just kept themselves to themselves so as not to draw attention, or are just kind of getting used to everything around them, or possibly again sleeping through after the first night of not turning into a vicious ogre beast for a while. Do you head back to your party after you've done so?
I think what I'll do, I'll just hang around a little bit longer just to make sure everything's okay. I will, depending on if they're in range, I'm going to try and send a message to whom? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll just send a message to Runt, just to say, seems quiet, I'm going to hang around a little bit, just in case. But yeah, be sure to try and think of something good this time.
Oh, that eyebrow raise.
Okay, well, so the other three of you, I can't count apparently. Yeah, the other three of you are again, no one's crowding around you or giving you any attention because they're still kind of It's not. It's Elysian, but it's designed by a British DM, so they're queuing.
Of course.
Yeah, there's like
Really?
very quickly, a long line has formed outside of the Oracle's tent of people that aren't like are just like over eager, have been like they just want their question answered quickly. You guys can, it's up to you. You can like queue yourselves, or you can take more time and discuss the answers. You can, you don't have to go at all if you don't want to. You could pop off for a bit. It's completely up to you guys what you want to do. But at least for the time being, in the very immediate present, it seems like the festival itself has kind of come to a pause, as everybody that's meant to be selling or performing are now like in like costumes sometimes as well. Like you've got some very exotic looking like fire dancers that are just stood in their like bejeweled and sequined outfits in the middle of this queue. Just like a belly dancer queuing up for the post office kind of image. As they're waiting to get their answers. So yeah, it looks for now at least that the festival's on pause whilst the excitement of it calms down. So you guys have kind of got free reign for a little bit.
Once I've made sure that the boy's okay, I'm going to try and find Saray again. Try and see where he's actually ended up.
Okay, make an investigation check for me.
This is going to be absolutely terrible. Oh, no, it is a flat D20, so yeah, 20.
20. You look around, and you can't see him. Like, you'd think with all of this going on, he'd be the first one that wanted to, like, go and either ask a question or try and steal back the limelight. But you look around for a while, and you kind of hear voices, and then you kind of peek around one lot of tents, and you can just see Agatha and Saray kind of just arguing at each other. Like having a full-blown, like, bickering match, almost, at each other. You don't know what about, but it looks hilarious.
Cool. I'll stay at a respectable distance, and then as and when the argument breaks up, I will try and find a way to intercept him.
Okay. This goes on for some time.
That's fine.
Yeah. They are...
I'm just... Well, if there's an argument and Agatha's involved, and it's like, this is just so delicious.
Yeah, fair enough. What about the rest of you?
Well, I'm going to ask a question.
I'm going to sort of nudge Ness and go, you do know that all the stall holders are actually now queuing up and not watching any of their stalls.
What do you want?
It's just an opportunity, I suppose.
You've muted Christine.
Oh, oops! I hit the wrong button. What's what's around?
There's a few bits and bobs. Not many like magical places besides Agatha's. That still has the boys kind of stood there looking sulkily on. Like, they have a look on their faces like, I want to go see the Oracle. But they know they're not allowed. And they seem to be...
Oh, poor bit. They're gonna have bigger trouble though, so...
Yeah, they're possibly more afraid of Agatha telling them off than they are excited about the magic... They
might as well go see the Oracle right now, because Agatha's really gonna tell them off when she gets back. Yeah, but, they don't know that yet.
They don't know that yet. Other than that, you've got like like silk traders. There's lots of food stalls. There's people selling like ornate looking like crockery or pots and things like that. So like nothing that stands out. Like the main thing that would have stood out is Agatha's stuff for an adventuring party at least. But there are like souvenirs and like the odd like figurines and statues and things like that. And like pots depicting different scenes from Elysian history, and yeah, silks. The odd fur, like there's like one fur stall, and things like that.
Well, you weren't here, but I've sort of already had some fun with the most likely magical store around. But if
Okay.
there's any more normal stuff you want, but it seems all pretty normal, and we could probably pay for it.
Yeah, probably not worth it. Getting spotted doing something sort of like easy that we don't need to do. If you've
No,
already had a bit of fun.
I had a bit of fun.
Such a nice, like good aligned party already.
I am a good. I am good. I'm chaotic good, but I'm good.
That's what happens when you get 2 cats in. Cats are definitely neutral evil.
We like shiny things.
I mean, there's a few
No
shiny
such
things.
thing.
There are a few shiny things, like there's some jewelry stands and things like that, if you wanted to.
Yeah, but we could pay for those, especially if there's already been some sneakery.
There is a serious shiny in my bag,
Oh yeah, true.
and it's Mercy's shiny, but we can play with it before we give it to Mercy.
I'm not into those kind of toys.
You're not there. You can't stop what might happen. Are the 2 cats basically going to bat around a diamond worth like 100 gold pieces whilst the Oracle of frickin' Delphi is here? Because I'm all for that.
No, neither
No,
of us
I'm
are
into
that
it.
stupid. We are going to bat it around when nobody is around,
Ah.
and
After we
then
left.
give it to Mercy.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I was still into it. So Run, are you just kind of joining the queue?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just join the queue.
Are you telling your party that you do like? Are you telling the 2 cats that you're doing this, or are you just kind of?
They seem to be off doing their own thing at this point, but I'm just gonna leave them to it.
Fair enough. Yeah, you get in the queue, and you manage to get like right behind Malison in the queue, who is very excited and talking at 100 miles an hour as he was before, but maybe somehow a little bit faster now. About like, oh, what question should I ask? I don't know. I should make my mind up quickly though. No, how long do you think this queue will last? Well, if it goes down too quickly, I might not have thought a question. I'll have to join the back of the queue again. But I don't want to just settle on something beforehand because then I only get one shot. And if I only get one, and he's just to himself, not to anyone in particular. But yeah, he seems very excited.
I just sort of tap him on the shoulder. Well, Malice,
Hi.
if you need some extra time to think, which by the sounds of it, you do. Do you want to step behind me? I'll go first. Give you another couple of minutes to
You
think.
horrible bastard! Make a persuasion check. Poor halfling gave you everything.
And yeah, I take more. And that's a 15.
15. Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, sure, thanks. And then it just goes behind you like, Stove, what do I want? Oh, can she tell the future? I think she can, she's the Oracle. And he just continues, like, talking to himself, you absolutely evil bastard.
Do I know anything from my history check as to whether the Oracle would be able to predict the future, or
Were you one of the you rolled a 20? No,
22, wasn't it?
well, was that for something
Oh,
else?
that was perception.
Yeah, it was a 15, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
18, I think, for history.
Okay. Tell you what, roll again because I cannot remember.
Yes, yeah. Let's just
Roll a
do
fresh
that.
check.
That makes more
It's, you know.
sense.
We have the technology.
It's a 15 this time.
Okay, there we go. You think so? Like whenever it's less about possibly like this is going to happen specifically because they normally speak quite cryptically in like the stories and things. But you remember
Total women.
you remember the stories of like Heracles and like defeating like the big warriors that went and had interactions with the Oracle, and she'd talk about destiny. And so she would talk about, where you came from will lead, you must do this to fulfill your destiny. It will lead to this. So you imagine that she can see the future and kind of guides people to one of those futures, or tries to guide you to the future she's seen. So yeah, so you imagine she could tell the future in a way. Whether she would give you a straight answer, you don't know. but like in all the stories, she kind of tells people destiny rather than just this will happen at this o'clock. These are the lottery numbers.
Right. Well, I suppose I'll wait my turn. I might strike up a conversation with Marcius as well on here.
Okay. Just casually strike up a conversation, kind of thing.
Yeah, just a bit of chit chat. So
yeah,
what do you think you're going to ask Marcius? So.
Oh, do you mean Malison?
Malison.
Yes. Although I'm writing that other one down. That's the Greek-sounding name.
Yeah, Marcius is a good name.
Yeah.
You can have that one for free.
Hey,
Malison, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you talk with Malison. He's very excited, but he really likes you. Don't know why at this point. And he kind of just he bounces some ideas off of you, and like, but then gets very quickly carried away. But yeah, he seems happy chatting with you and passing the time. Mercy, you see eventually they do kind of break up the argument, and kind of it's weird. It turns from them arguing and shouting at each other, and then kind of just talking and just going. From what, make a perception check actually to see if you can tell where the conversation kind of goes. It's more specific.
Alrighty. That would be a maths 15. 15.
Okay, you can hear bits and bobs, and you can hear like first they're arguing. It's about no, you did, you said you could help with my Stephanie, and she's like, what are you talking about? You're meant to have a business, blah blah blah. It's like who even? Then it's like. They finally get to, like, who actually are you? And then they get to, like, oh, so you're a promoter, are you? It's like, oh, you're quite a famous bard, are you? And, like, both of their business heads seem to turn on.
Okay.
Like, both of them very exaggerating, like, their extent and their fame. But by the end of it, they kind of, like, Saray seems to have convinced Agatha that he's one of the most famous bards across Elysium, and Agatha's kind of convinced Saray that she's, like, she can get anything, and she's this master seller and can promote him, and they wander off towards, like, a drinks stall, talking about possibly being an agent.
Oh, the poor boy's going to get scalped for everything. Oh, well, that's his own fault, and fuck her. Okay. Oh, well, they're going to be busy for a while, so I'll just go away.
Okay. You heading back towards the party?
You know the stage?
Yes.
How far away is that from the Oracle's tent?
The Oracle's, like, the stage is in the middle of the camp.
Sure.
And all tents, even the Oracle's, are all around the outskirts. Hers just kind of away from the big group of tents and things, so it's a fair distance away. Is
it more than 120 feet?
No, it's not that big. I'd say it's about 40 feet. Like the whole square itself is maybe like a 70 to 80 foot kind of circle crossroads that's been made with the tents and stuff. The actual road only runs through a small part of it. The road isn't that wide, but they've made it into a circular kind of meeting area.
What I'd like to do is sit on top of the stage, casually watching. I want to be watching the tent, looking for people and stuff, while I try and ponder on an appropriate question, and then as and when I do, I will send it via message.
Okay. What are you going to try and send message to the Oracle?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have an appropriate question now?
Maybe, but I want to make sure it's worded correctly.
Okay.
Because it's limited time to send it.
Well, it's like, it's limited wording, isn't it?
Hey, well, that's the actual sending spell. But message is within a 6.
Oh, with your message, yeah. Oh, okay.
It's like a 6-second window, so I've got to frame it within a 6-second window.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'll come back to you.
No worries. Kitty cats. What are you two doing?
I'm sitting there sort of pondering, stroking the end of my tail, trying to think of something useful to ask the Oracle.
Okay. Are any of you discussing these questions? I kind of assume at this point that you've all decided, fuck help with the quests. I want my own answers, which is fine. But I was just wondering.
Oh no, mine's definitely quest related.
Okay, but yeah, are any of you kind of discussing between each other, between yourselves, what you want to ask, or are you kind of just pondering in your own heads?
My question's quest related too, so.
I still don't even know if I'm going to ask a question.
Ooh.
Fair enough. From the sounds of things, you are all keeping it very individual then. Sorry, I was going to give you some time if you guys wanted to do the whole what do we ask thing, but if you all have ideas already, that's sorted. We will move it forward.
Well, I'm ready to send mine now. If you.
Okay,
if
sure.
Yeah, I'm going to just can't sort of like point. So, because apparently I have to point. So, according to the spell, so I'm going to roughly gesture towards the tent, picturing the image of the oracle's face, and I'm going to say, "Who will what? Let loose the undead scourge and why now?"
I cannot hear. I couldn't, literally could not hear just your question. You kind of cut out there.
Oh, same technical issues. Oh, lovely. Is that better?
Yep.
So yeah, who or what let loose the undead scourge and why now?
You send through the message, and yeah. So the message goes through, and all you get is a message back just going, "Let's speak in person, Mercy."
And denied.
But first named. I mean, it's not as impressive when the DM knows everything, but in the game that would be quite impressive. So what are you doing now, Mercy? Are you joining the queue as well, or are you gonna try a different tactic?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna wander up towards Runt then.
Okay. You approach Runt.
Thought of anything good yet?
Well, I think so. I'm not entirely certain. We'll find out.
Or did you want to run it by me first in case you make an idiot of yourself?
I was going to ask how can we stop the curse that afflicts the child in the cart?
Well, we've more or less covered that, dear.
Then why is it still going on?
It's not. It hasn't transformed yet.
It hasn't, but shouldn't they have all changed back when we killed the Cyclops?
Well, as we've apparently found out, if you remember, or maybe not, it may have had something to do with the other woman.
So it's still going on?
Correct.
So the question's still relevant.
It is, but phrasing. Because that particular child is fine, it's just how do we stop the rest of it? If that's what you want.
That afflicted the child in the cart then. How about that? Past tense.
Or maybe a question of how do we find the current source?
How about your infinite wisdom, Mercy?
How about what?
How about your infinite wisdom?
Yes, how about it?
Oh.
Well, what I may lack in brawn and bulk, dear.
Oh.
Oh, it was a car going by somewhere. It sounded like monks going, "Oh," for a second.
Pretty sure that's me, and it is the one dickhead on my street that drives a moped and revs it everywhere he goes.
Oh, fair enough. Well,
It's the kind of moped that's actually like a nest of angry wasps.
It sounds less like that and more like a really confused rat most of the time.
fair enough.
Okay.
Christine, did you say you were you kind of piped in for a second?
Oh, I just said since Mercy is coming over and it seems like people are getting in line, I'll go join them in line.
Okay.
Same here.
Okay, you are all together again. You do like to split your parties. I mean, you're all
Well, when
kind
it's
of stand
quiet,
there.
you may as well.
Yeah, you stand there and you're like, Malison kind of just steps, but just he's not saying anything. He's just smiling. He doesn't even seem offended. But yeah, he's kind of just let you guys all push into the queue, which is nice.
Oh, Mercy, have you, Malison here is a good friend of mine. Isn't that right, Malison?
Yes. Like, from what you gather, you've never actually said that Malison's your friend. At the mention of that, his eyes turn into like dinner plates.
Kawaii face.
It's just like, yes, really good friends. Hi, Runt's other friend.
Hello.
Are you waiting to see the? Of course you're waiting to see the oracle. That's why you're here. But are you ready? I'm having a little trouble with my question, but I think I've almost got it. But yeah, are you? Nice to meet
It depends
you.
on whether you're looking for a yes or no answer, dear.
I think I've got it. I've narrowed it down to 3 or 4. No, I've got it.
Right, Malison.
Is it Malison? Is that your name?
Malison, yes.
Take a deep breath. Think about it really hard, and just for the sake of role play, I'm gonna just put my hand on his shoulder and drop guidance on him.
Okay.
Just to see if it'll help him focus a little bit.
Roll. Well, it would be him rolling, I guess. I'll make him roll an intelligence check with a D4. That sounds about right.
Go for it.
That
Just
sounds like a thing.
for the sake of role play.
Yeah, no, that's why not.
He doesn't need guidance. He needs some ancient Greek Adderall.
Adororpheus? No. That's actually wrong. Yeah. So he goes, okay. Yes, I've definitely got it. Great. Thank you. Yes, I've got it now. I think.
Don't doubt it.
Yeah, so it gets to eventually, after quite some time queuing, you reach the front of the tent. You see that one of the guards is kind of stood, almost like a bouncer, I suppose, just leading people into the front of the tent and things. And when there's like a nod, he'll kind of like let the next person in. The other guard you don't see. You assume maybe he's inside or something like that. And what order would you like to go in and ask your questions?
I think Malison should go first.
Aww.
I feel guilty.
Okay. Yeah, so she goes, oh, are you sure? Because you were in front... Thanks, friend. Runt, friend.
It seems like you've made up your mind, which obviously
Definitely.
is the reason why you were.
Yes.
I suggest you go behind me. So if you've made up your mind, then you go right ahead. You go in front.
Thank
You were here first.
Thank you so much. You're a good friend.
I try, Malison. I try.
And yeah, he kind of totters in when it's his turn. About like 5 minutes pass, and he kind of comes out looking like ecstatic, confused, but ecstatic, and just kind of does the... He doesn't like come back to you because they kind of like the guard kind of motions for him to kind of go to off to the right, but as he does, he just looks at you and does the very familiar, and then wanders off again.
I flash one back, just straight up thumbs up.
Yes. Who's going next?
I'd suggest somebody else goes first before me.
This is where I should have got you all to write it down, and then it turns out you'd all ask the exact same question.
Mercy, how did you phrase that question again? Quickly, let me write it down.
Just mention something about finding and eliminating the source of the curse of the child that had afflicted the child that we currently carry.
Got it. I'll go next then.
Okay. You saunter is probably the right word.
He struts. He doesn't saunter.
trots.
Well, you can tell by the way that I use my walk.
I knew you were
No
gonna.
time to talk.
Okay. I might start giving out disadvantage.
Oh no! Don't be that DM.
I won't because I make so many puns myself. I'd have to give myself disadvantage just as often as I gave it to you guys.
If it cuts both ways, I'm all for this.
Right. Yeah, you get beckoned towards it, and you full on Saturday Night Fever into the tent. And it's quite dark in there. There's like candles lit. The smell of incense kind of wafts up to your bovine nostrils. You see, like sat at the cross-legged at a very low down table is the Oracle, still dressed in her white tunic, still with her hood up, and like bandages around her face, and she's just kind of sat politely waiting. And behind her, not like imposing or anything, just off back enough towards the rear corner of the tent, so it's not imposing, but still keeping an eye on her, is another one of the other guard, just kind of stood like arms crossed, hand near like a short bronze sword, but not like on the hilt or anything, just close enough that if anything were to happen, they could very quickly spring into action and protect her. And she just she beckons for you to sit in front of her.
Well, I go over. I kneel in front of her, and I just say hello.
Hello again.
I suppose is this now the time to ask my questions, or
Is that your question?
is this not my question?
I'm joking, dear. Sorry, you seem,
Thank God for that.
You
All the gods.
you seem tense. I thought I'd lighten the mood. Yes, although I would like to get to speak to everyone a little more, and enjoy the festival. Sadly, there are a lot of people that want to ask me, so we'll have to forego the previous formalities of social etiquette. And yes, if you would just like to ask me your question when you're ready.
How can we find the source of the curse which afflicted the child that we are currently traveling with?
She kind of just sits for a little while, like about maybe 10 seconds, and just looks at your face. Make a wisdom save for me. A wisdom check. Yeah, wisdom save, just because then you might get a bonus. Why not?
Yeah, all right. I'll do a save. I mean, I'm not entirely sure I have much.
I think they're exactly the same, aren't they? But yeah.
Wisdom's +1. Well, yeah, they're both the same. I hate to say it, that was a natural one.
That's fine. She kind of looks at you and just. I would say the best way would to start looking. When was the last time you looked for said source? There are those out there. Sorry, I will. That was cruel. Sorry. Sometimes when I see the strings of things, I just say them as I see them. I don't mean to be so abrupt, but yes, there are those out there. There's some, that you may know them, you may have met them already, or you may find many places in Elysium where people can find such a creature. Look at the stories of all of those that went on epic quests. Look at their patterns and how they managed it. The past tends to repeat itself.
So, are you referring to Odysseus, or?
There's Odysseus, there's Jason, there's the tragic tale of Orpheus, there's Heracles, and there's many Greek heroes. They all went out and quested for what they wanted. They had a clear goal, and they were waylaid, but they found it in the end. If you have something you want to do, then have that goal in mind and work towards it.
No, Oracle, you should cease being an Oracle and become a motivational speaker. That was very good.
Thank you. Now, again, I
You
don't...
defeated the Cyclops.
Well done. But yes, I'm sorry. That is my answer for you.
Very well. Well, maybe once you're done with your formal business, you and I can have a chat about personal things rather than these grand questions.
I hope so. Thank you very much. And she beckons again for you to...
Well, I stand up, I leave the tent, I nod to the guards and just like, yeah, you're right, mate. Just sort of recognition.
Yeah, he nods respectfully. He's not happy-go-lucky, but he's not completely miserable. He just nods to you as you leave. Yeah, you guys see Runt kind of leave the tent and is ushered off to the side, looking a little bit maybe perturbed or have some things to think about. And yeah, who would like to go next?
I'm going to thrust one of the cats forward. I don't care which.
I don't have a D2. I know someone... Wait, that's a coin.
Well, no, D6 odds and evens. D6 odds and evens.
Yeah, it's fine. I rolled a D4 and halved it. Just, you know what, Lorraine, go.
So,
You get pushed in the back. You're the easier one to push because you're slight, so...
look at him. Look at her sideways and then head in.
Oh,
Not-
the cat stare of, no, you've already had wet food. No, there's still wet food in your bowl. Just...
Mercy, don't shove me in. If you want some time, just ask me to go in first.
Yeah, Lorraine, Nim, similar situation, you head into the tent, and the smell of incense and like the smoke and the lights from the candles greet you. And the Oracle is sat there with the guard in the corner, and she beckons you to sit.
I bow and then sit down.
Greetings, Nimble. Please, what would you ask of me?
I would like to know where our party is next most needed. We met when we were needed, so I'm hoping we will be needed somewhere else.
Make a wisdom save for me.
17.
Okay. She kind of looks at you. Again, it's quite disconcerting because she's facing towards you, but there's no eye contact. As they're always covered.
I'm missing an eye anyway. I find it less disconcerting.
Yeah. And she just goes, honestly, many places across Elysium need heroes right now. Although it is not an immediate answer of you are needed in this specific place, because you are not needed in one specific place some more than others. But I will give you some advice based on what I have seen from your past and what I know of your future. And that is, before asking an oracle where you are needed and what you should do next, talk to your compatriots. Talk between yourselves about where you all want to do the most good. And then you may be surprised in how you can help each other reach these goals and maybe answer questions in your own life. You are never just one person on your own. You're asking where you are all needed. Decide amongst yourselves where you want to do the most good, because everywhere could use people right now. And there are many threads to your future, and it will depend on which one you choose, to which one is most helped by you. There is no one answer to that question.
Thank you.
And she nods. nods her head, and like after a respectful few seconds, just beckons as well.
I get up and follow where I think Runt headed to.
Yep. Who's next?
I'm just going to say to Nez, I've technically already asked mine, so you may as well give.
Okay.
You go in?
I'll go into the tent.
Okey-doke. Yeah, similar situation, greeted with the same scene.
Hello, ladies here.
Hello, Nesdil.
How are you?
Is that your question?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I was taught I was taught that my people shouldn't tempt fates any more than we already had. So I don't. How are you?
I'm well. I'm a little worn from the journey, but I'm good. Once you've been doing this for as long as I have, you reach a moment of calm, and things are moving forward, and the wheels are turning, and I'm happy.
I am glad you are at peace.
Thank you. And yeah, she beckons you to. Yeah. I did not doubt you at all when you said that was your question. Knowing Nesdil. And you leave, and it's just Mercy to go. And then the giant crowd of halflings behind you.
Which you will roleplay.
Yep, this is going to be the next hour and a half, guys. It's just going to be me and random halfling NPCs asking the Oracle questions about whether they'll have a good harvest. Strap in. Yeah, you are greeted. It's like, hello, Mercy.
Hello.
Sorry for the lack of answers earlier, but I could not have answered your question in the limitations of your spell.
It was more of a question of if I could stand the cue. I thought at least if I postulated a question, it would just stimulate something just in the air, whether you responded or not.
I understand. Well, again, now you're here, let's not strip all formalities and tradition. Although you have already asked, please ask again. What is your question? Which is a great way of saying the DM forgot what you asked specifically.
If it's within your purview of gaze, what was it that let loose, that burst the dam of the underworld, and why? Is there a purpose?
Okay. Make a wisdom save.
Skadoosh, that is a 24.
24. That's what happens when you're a cleric. She looks at you and tilts her head and ponders for a second, and she goes, "The path is clouded ahead. It's never been something that's happened before, and I can only imagine if I cannot see clearly, it's something that was never meant to happen. I don't know exactly what may have released this. I don't know what the purpose may be, although I'm sure the sheer amount, as you say, there may be multiple purposes. What I will say is if there is one goal between them, then we should all be very afraid. But, no. Whatever this being is that may have... This was not... All I can tell you is this was not a breaking of the dam, as you called it. I would have seen that. It was something interfering with the natural way of things in order to blind it from my sight. So something very powerful. Or very clever? Or both?
I was not afraid you would say that, but it was certainly what I thought you might say.
I'm sorry I cannot be of more assistance.
Well, no. Even power such as yours has certain limits, I would assume.
It does. As there's not even the gods have unlimited power, despite what they might say.
I'll just give a very dry laugh at that.
Yeah, roll an insight check for me.
With pleasure. That is a... Yes, 21.
21. When she says that, it's not just the gods. There's some definite actual bitterness there towards the gods that she's harbouring. You're not quite sure why. Again, you could look up possibly what might have done that, but from your history check, you wouldn't know any reason for her to have those opinions. But there's some definite bitterness when she says that in a voice, even though she hides it well with her like ceremony and things. But on a 21, you can kind of see through it, and you're like the queen of sass and bitterness, so you spot it.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying you're the queen of sass and bitterness.
That's fine.
Sorry, is this? Yeah. So yeah, and she beckons as well.
I'll say, if we ever cross paths again, there may be other questions I require guidance on.
Well, hopefully I will have more time to answer them. Thank you.
Safe travels.
And you. And you are beckoned out. Okay, yeah, so you come out, and again, the next person is ushered in, and you're not like ushered into a gift shop on the way out where you have to buy Oracle trading cards and hats. But although there are some sellers now resetting up, so there are some of them like peddling bits and bobs and souvenirs to the people, and there are like, do you know almost like the movie theatre trays that have the strap around the neck and they carry things around. There are a few halflings going around with bits that they want to sell, like bits of jewellery and figures and pots and things, and they are kind of waiting for the people to come out of the tent, like seeing the opportunity for where everyone's going to be in the same place. So it is a little bit like a gift shop. And you all eventually, once you've asked your questions, reconvene as a party. And we will have a short break there, just because it's a good time to do it, and I imagine that after the break you guys might have a few things to talk about. So we will have a short 10-minute break there. For those of you that are watching, and those of you that are entering our giveaway, if you would like another entry in order to do it, just as a reward / thank you / incentive for those that actually watch the Twitch channel, as well as follow it, and those that see the VOD, if they see it in time as well, they'll still be able to do the same. So thank you to you people that watch it like either live or when you have time afterwards on either podcast, YouTube, Twitch, anything like that. And so yeah, all you have to do is go on to the original Twitter post and just comment with the word Malison, spelt Alison, 2 L's, 1 M. And yeah, just comment the word Malison in the Twitter post, and anyone that does so, you'll get an extra little entry. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. We will be back in around 10 minutes' time. Well, say in around 10 minutes' time. We have a timer, so it will be pretty much exactly 10 minutes' time. Yeah, thank you for watching. See you in 10 minutos. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you had a nice cuppa, cigarette, toilet break, whatever you needed, and thanks for joining us again. Before we had a little break, you guys had each queued so very graciously, and each asked the Oracle a different question, mostly pertaining to like the path ahead of you as a party, and the goings on in Elysium recently. Also, just asking how the Oracle was, which was nice. You have each had your turn and left, and you are now again in the like the festival, like the courtyard, the makeshift courtyard that's been made by this, and you are back together as a party. So what would you guys like to do next?
Did you get the answers you wanted?
Not in the slightest.
It depends on how you read it, dear.
She basically told me to go on a quest for the source of the curse.
Well, wasn't that what we were considering anyway?
Pretty much, but I was hoping for some sort of jumping off point, maybe. Or some indication as to where we should start looking.
Sometimes the threads of fate aren't that useful. They supposedly look a lot like yarn balls.
Yes, that's what it sounded like to me too.
Nim, make an intelligence check for me.
19.
19. On the mention of quest, like, you've done a lot of travelling, some of which, like, a lot of people that go out to sea do so because they're going on a quest. Again, look at the classics, Odysseus, things like that. And you have heard talk of people, not about like any curse or anything like that, but talking about questing for like certain items that can like find and locate things, and like you remember in a tavern once people arguing about like why is like everything's so hard to like why could these people never find them, or why did people find these things so easily in the stories? And you have talk of maybe they had like there was like rumors of a specific item that may have helped them.
Is there anything we could go and find that'll lead us to this creature that caused the curse in the first place?
In terms of what, dear?
Like a marker or...
What, as in like something that will help? Well, we kind of lost track of the trail back in Typhus, and then we ended up in Sparta. Yeah. So, it's a question of whether we dare go back there and then start the trail afresh and see what we can find there, or, maybe there's other ways. Maybe we can. Well, if it's a long shot. I mean, if we get the child to my temple, then we may be able. I don't know. It depends on the strength of the other people's magic, or if there's anybody we can find. They might be able to sort of like maybe divine sort of information out of the child that it might not necessarily know by itself. Maybe they can like pull something from. I don't know. It's a massive reach. I have no idea, but it's the one thing that sort of like springs to mind. I mean, without literally going, oh hello, did you cause a curse? I don't.
So, heading to where you came from is still the best option for us all, then.
It's the closest. Well, it's the closest major city, and at least we can put the child somewhere safe, and he can be looked after. And because chances are his family don't exist anymore, so and at least he can be, brought up and put to work, and at least be in a safe environment, sort of like Iris.
Yes, we probably should stop guarding a child around in a crate.
Well, yes.
I mean, not that we have any other options right now, but we should probably find a way to make that, to have other options.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why we're going there, dear. As a bonus. I mean, well, what did you two ask anyway?
I asked how she was.
Oh, that was nice of you, dear.
I asked where were we needed
And
and didn't really get a straight answer. Everywhere and nowhere. Or everywhere a little bit. But depends where we choose to go.
oh, so it's literally up to us, basically.
Yes. Hence why I was asking which was the next way we needed to go.
So I think as we had already planned, let's get the child to my temple. As I need to try and find information as to if there's any information they have that I don't about the underworld, and any information I can get that might help us with dealing with the menace. And then we can move on from there. But if nothing pressing happens and the other curse is still weighing heavily, we can always try working towards expunging that from the world as well, because that would be rather nice to not have that on our backs anymore.
I have a feeling wherever we wander, we're going to find something we need to deal with.
It kind of seems that way.
The Oracle was surprisingly calm and doing okay for the sort of chaos that is happening.
Oh, really?
Yes. So either she's very chaotic by nature and enjoys this, is perfectly fine with really bad things happening, or thinks that somehow this is all going to be okay.
I suppose if you're an oracle, you have to deal with the fact that bad things happen.
Interesting.
All of you. So yeah. So as you talk about this again, more people come out and things start to die down. And you're talking about this kind of throughout the evening. One thing. Actually, all of you make perception checks. Let's make it a skill roll.
Okay. So that's a 23 with the nat.
Nice.
Nat 20.
Nice.
22.
Nice.
Nothing spectacular.
I mean, with the 3...
It's like a 21, but nothing spectacular from the...
So 20s across the board of some sort, including naturals. Okay. You all notice... You've been talking about this, and everything's been super hectic. You know, it's a festival. There's like lights and sounds and music and revelry and shouting and everything's been going on since you've got here. You've noticed that like as the evening's crept on and it's got to the next like night where you'd think it'd come more alive, there's just this huge kind of like not aura, because that suggests magic, like energy of like lethargy from everyone. Like, no one seems to be wanting to do much. And it's like just this feeling of lethargy across the whole camp now.
This can't be good. Anyone else see this?
It doesn't seem very normal.
Which begs the question, either the idiot bard did something really stupid or there's something else going on. I am now wondering whether the oracle was brought here under false pretenses. Maybe we should.
Should we stay close to the tent?
Oh, I think we should. It never hurts. Considering everything we've been through, this would be supremely par for the course, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Better safe than sorry, and no disrespect to her bodyguards, but
More the merrier.
Yes. So, well, mathematically, 7's better than 2. Oh no, sorry, 8. Can't forget the pooch.
9.
Sorry,
If you,
Chibani.
I was going to say.
Sorry,
Chibani
Chibani.
sits and looks at you.
I'm sorry.
I mean, 9 if you count scales, but I wouldn't count scales.
Chibani realises that she shouldn't lick Mercy, but she really wants to.
We are not counting scales.
No, that'd take
Scales
forever.
will not do. Scales did help Runt entertain people, but I have no faith that Scales is going to be useful in any form of difficult, aggressive situation.
I mean, yeah. So,
Basically, if Hedwig was on mescaline.
again, just think about the chicken from Moana, and you're pretty bob on with how this thing's mental capacity relates.
Yeah, send my postal stamps.
So, what are you guys doing? Are you heading over to the tent?
We will head over to the tent.
Okay. So as you head over, what are you like going as close as possible? Are you going to the queue? Are you what?
Well, I'm no tactician like Gavril. However, it might be worth circling around the tent area.
Yes, do you want me to get a little closer just carefully and just make sure that everything's okay inside? Like, not stay and listen, but just make sure that there's nothing strange going on and then come back.
You be the close eyes. Nim's probably the better at the long range eyes, and then maybe Runt and I stay within striking distance of the actual tent, maybe within 20 feet or so, but keep like a perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Just keeping a watchful eye for now. If everyone's okay with that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything high up?
It's like a flag.
Just the highest point here is just a little makeshift stage that they made. It's very kind of just flat with the tents and things. So you're very slight, so you could actually try and probably climb one of the tents with your build.
Yes, it would look slightly strange sat on top of a tent, though.
It would, but you'd probably.
You are
be
a
only-
cat.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
If it fits, I sit.
That's true. If there's a decent height tent, then apart from obviously the Oracle's tent that I'm not stupid enough to climb, I shall happily pad my way up on top of it and take up a nice high position.
Yeah, just make just a general acrobatics check for me to make sure because you're probably the only person that could get away with it with how slight you are. But if you want to just make sure you don't like have an accident trying to very carefully paw your way up to the
19.
19. Yeah, you kind of pad your way through. Like you check it first by like just making biscuits at the bottom of the tent. It's like, yeah, this will be fine. And then like climb your way up. Like using your claws but being careful not to rip the material of the tent, and then you manage to find your way up to the top and like kind of circle a couple of times before you settle yourself in, and Chibani just kind of waits at the bottom, kind of looking pretty much like wherever you are, but like a wider view with his heads, so you're all scouting together.
He's used to the idea of keeping an eye out,
Yeah.
so would have seen what I'm trying to do and gone, oh right, that's what she's up to then.
Yeah. So we'll go Ness next. What are you? Are you going stealth?
Yes, I am going to stealth up, not like to try to actually hear what exactly she's saying to anyone, but close enough to hear like the general ebb and flow of whatever conversation it is to see if it sounds like she's having a conversation with like halfling about the harvest or whether something else is going on.
Okay. Yeah, make a stealth check for me.
That is not insanely great. That is an 18.
18. Kaduk. That is a 15. So yeah, so you go past and not like the only person that's actively like keeping a lookout is the guard on the outside. Everyone else is kind of like everyone like queuing up is still very excited, so not concentrating, and they're just kind of like bubbling about like what they're going to ask and like getting a bit impatient at this point because they've been queuing a while. There might be a few tuts. But yeah, so they're not paying attention, and you manage to slip past the guard. So yeah, if you want to make... Actually, we'll come back and then we'll just do a big roll. Runt and Mercy, whereabouts, like how close to the tent are you guys looking to get, and how are you kind of carrying yourselves? Unmute, please.
Yes, I am unmuted. Let's get within 20 feet and try and be as surreptitious as minotaurally possible.
Okay. Are you going like behind where, like the other side of where the guard is, or are you kind of like one of the sides of the tent? Where would you like to go position-wise?
I will. Let's go where the guard is.
Okay, so you're kind of just like giving him backup.
Pretty much.
Okay, so he steps, you step up like that, and he kind of just turns to you, and it's like, yes, can I help? Did you not have your turn already?
Yes, I've had my turn. But I feel here is a suitable place for me to be at the moment.
Is there something concerning you?
Ever so slightly.
Is it something that I should be made aware of?
Let's say no for the time being, but if it's all saying to you, just for my own peace of mind more than anything else, I'd like to wait here.
Make a persuasion check at advantage, just because you handled that quite well, and you are like you hold yourself militorial, not like you're there to cause trouble.
That is a 17.
17, and looks and just goes, okay, please do not interrupt what is happening here, and if there is anything that we should be made aware of, please do so as soon as possible so we may protect the Oracle.
I will do.
Thank you.
I'll be sure not to distract or interrupt in any way.
Gratitude. Mercy, how about you? You're muted, dear.
Oh, for the love of a non-specific deity. Yeah, let's say I'm 30 feet from the tent.
Okay.
Sort of just ambling around. Well, I'm assuming because it's predominantly halflings, I've got a good vantage point of view.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just want to be extra careful looking for anything that might, again, not of the norm. I'm going to throw out another Rise of the Grave because some time has passed and something may have encroached in the camp.
Okay.
Just on the off chance, it probably not even undead related, but something. But I just want to be safe.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I also want to see where, if he's around, where Bardicus Maximus has ended up.
Okay. So you do the Eyes of the Grave first because that doesn't need a roll. You push out your sensors again, and still no undead presence.
Good.
And then all of you, from where you are, because you've pretty much covered all the distances. All of you make perception checks for me. I think Christine can tell me in a second. I didn't really. Again, she's stealthed away.
Just remind me, is this perception check guidanceable? Because
Yes.
it's a quick one.
Yeah, this is a quick one, so you can guidance this.
Thank you.
That'll be a 21.
21.
Oh, hang on, let me just double check mine. Because I've forgotten already. Including guidance 23.
23, okay. Nim?
17 for me. Would Chobani be getting advantage for the perception check?
If he's doing it by smell,
So he would
He's
get
like sniffing out or
20.
something. 20. Okie dokie. And then we've just got Christine, who has popped off.
Stealth into another plane.
Yes. Oh, something I can. Oh, she's back now. Hello.
Hello, I could hear you. I was just dealing with a pup dog.
Ah, the other Persephone. Yeah, could you roll perception for me?
Yes, I do. I have already rolled it. It
Nice.
is a 25.
25. Okay, all of you did quite well. So, yeah, you look out from where you are, and there doesn't seem to be like any encroaching enemies or any hostility around. Mercy, you rolled quite well as well, so you spot, yeah, Bardicus Prickicus Maximus is still like...
He's just misunderstood.
Well, that will have worn off by now. It's finally worn off. It lasts an hour.
Oh, then he's an absolute prick and an even worse prick.
Yeah, but I love him. You spot that he is where Runt was before, where most of the drinking is happening, with Agatha, and they're just talking at the bar, kind of, well, not at the bar, but like they're talking with wine, and just like, they seem to be deep in conversation about like, some sort of logistical, like, it just looks very like they're planning.
So there's no show of them showing signs of weariness.
No, they seem absolutely fine. They seem like how you saw them. How you guys? Yeah, how long did you want to keep guard for, by the way?
Can I? Well, if they're keeping guard still a moment, I actually want to try and grab Saray then.
Yeah, you can do that. So yeah, it's like, yes, no, that's brilliant. I like that. So if we can go on. Oh, hello, dear. How has the festival been treating you so far?
It's a festival. It has things in it.
Quite.
I don't care. I don't necessarily care for things. However, the Oracle is a nice distraction and a welcome thing for all the fine people here. However, if I could possibly borrow you from your associate.
You're right, love. Yeah, I've got some things to sort. You can have him for a minute. I'm gonna go check on me boys. And she just kind of hops down.
I'm sure they've been behaving admirably.
Yeah, she hops down off a stool, being like gnome-sized, and walks off. It's like, oh, so you wanted to get me alone, did you? And what can I do for you?
Oh, never ever get your hopes up, dear. Look. Whether or not this is peculiar or not, there seems to be not the same atmosphere as there was earlier. And I'm not saying it's because of you, but given your persuasion.
Well, I mean,
I'm just wondering maybe if you have an insight maybe none of my friends have either.
Well, now that you mention it, it has got a little drab around here, hasn't it? Well, no, of course, I know my songs aren't the most cheery of late, but no, they still tend to work a room. I don't know, maybe the Oracle's a bit miserable. I did meet her quite a few times up in Delphi, and she's quite of a stick in the mud.
Yeah, but she surely can't have that kind of reach with her, whatever, to make everyone feel meh.
Oh no, I don't think she has any sort of magic that could do that. I just mean maybe she's just a mood killer.
I can't imagine that, given how infrequently she travels.
Yes, well, again, I don't know much about her from the times we were all drinking after a show, and but all the big names were there, so I didn't have much time to.
And you don't have any sort of like your own magical reach to try and. Is there any magic in the air that's not natural? That I can't. Do you have any ability for that?
I'm a performer. I just exude brilliance with my song and my presence, but I can't pick it up from the air. No, I'm a giver more than a taker, you might say.
I'm sure you are, dear. There is one other quick question then.
Before you do so, make an insight check at that. Just.
Okay.
That's a 23.
You get the impression he doesn't even know he's magical.
Oh, right.
Like, I know, like, he affected and charmed some people with his song, which actually you wouldn't have even picked up, but with the wings and things, like, you get the impression that he doesn't even know he's a bard, he just thinks he's a bard.
Right, okay.
He's that self-absorbed that he thinks that all of this is just,
natural talent.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, fine. Well, that kind of leads me neatly into. So, you're a Cupid.
I am. Yes.
Want a better term?
Well, that would be the term. Why would you want better?
You don't know me very well, do you? How many do you know of other siblings of your own?
No. I can't say that I do. There's not many of us about anymore. There was quite a lot of us during the time before when the gods were up in Olympus, but then we were a lot more needed for the more menial tasks of love and courtship then. No, since the gods have kind of taken control, we've been able to do our own thing more. So no, I haven't really seen much of the.
But there are still what? Lots of you, a few of you.
Oh
not as
yes,
many?
oh yeah. There's quite a few. We were quite a big family back in the day. Again, I didn't really keep count. But
Why doesn't that surprise me?
I don't know how many are still pottering around. I know a lot of them wanted to travel. Yes. Quite
interesting. No, I'm just curious as to if there were other types of winged creatures such as yourselves, literally, but slightly different.
Oh well, there's plenty, I suppose. There's there's harpies, there's furies for the more unsavory types. There's cupids, obviously.
I'm literally talking about something more along the lines of you, but considerably darker.
Darker.
Would such a thing exist?
No, I mean the closest we have to a dark half are the incubi pricks. But they're the takers from our giving. But I don't believe they have wings.
Oh well, that's very interesting.
I mean, there was an old kind of race of winged creatures, but they came in all sorts of flavors. Most of those went extinct during the Titanomachy.
The Titan? What? Excuse me.
The Titanomachy, the war between Mother and the rest, and the Titans. It's in many children's. Okay, maybe we read different books as children. Yes, the great war between the Titans and the gods and the Olympians. How the gods got their throne. That whole spiel. Yes, I know a few of them. There were a few Titan bloods that could fly, and they had many flavors. But no, I don't know of any specifics. It was kind of before my time. We weren't really needed in times of war. We were more the aftermath in the times of peace, when people needed to start getting
living again,
acquainted. Yes. No, my knowledge is limited, but yeah, there's many winged creatures about.
No, it was a yes. I don't think I phrased it very.
No, like I say, I'm not big on the academics, so I'm probably not the right person.
No. But I just wanted to say, as you are a Cupid and whatever, I just wanted to satisfy a small curiosity.
No, of course. I'm, as being a Cupid, I encourage everyone to satisfy all curiosities.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to do that ever. I do appreciate you answering the question. It certainly
given me more questions that I need to ask.
Oh, absolutely. Well, enjoy the rest of the festival. I hope it picks up a bit.
Just keep your eyes out for it, just in case anything feels a little bit weird, whether or not it happens to you. But if something feels whatever, and even though I'm loath to say it, play something at some point, just to see if it lightens the mood.
Yes, I was thinking maybe pick things up a bit. Yes, but don't worry, I shall keep my eyes out. Nothing gets past me. Where's my drink
Yes,
gone? Where did that old? Where did the gnome lady get off to?
She had other business, if you remember.
Right. Yes, quite. Yes, I might go and find her. We had an
And
interesting proposition for her.
I'd be wary of striking up a business deal with her. She seems to be very much on the extortion racket.
Oh, absolutely. Both hands in pockets. Got you. And he wanders off.
Such a moron.
The rest of you, yeah. So how long? How long were you guys looking to stand guard of the Oracle's tent? General consensus?
Do we want to guard all night as a shift, or do we want to?
Well, what time? About what time
That's
did
probably
we?
not the worst idea.
About what time did we notice this, and about what time is it now?
It is around like 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. And this is like you noticed it, like pretty recently because you kind of sprung into action as soon as you did notice it, and it's only been like maybe 20 minutes since you put your plan into action.
Well, I'm going to stay hidden for at least like 45 minutes, an hour before I try to find the rest of you again.
Okay. So we'll do an hour mark, and then if you guys want to do anything longer, if nothing happens, we'll go from there. So yeah, so you wait for the hour, and you're listening in, and yeah, like again, not too intently, but people go in as normal. Like they ask quite mundane sounding questions for some. Some of them are a little bit, tear jerking, like lost loves or lost parents, and the Oracle, for the most part, gives cryptic but what seems like maybe helpful answers. But all of them seem just as cryptic as your answers. But nothing like untoward happens from what you can hear. It's just goes on for a while, and the queue is finally getting to the point where it's kind of shortening, and like there's not that many people waiting anymore after the hour. The rest of you, again, for the whole hour, you don't see anything untoward come towards, or anything act up, or there's no like aura of magic or anything that you can feel, with your limited kind of knowledge of that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll say you briefly reconvene after an hour, so you can discuss if you want to do it for longer or what your next steps are.
Well, I'm happy to stay on shift for a while longer and just keep an eye on things.
Does it still feel weird?
People are still like pretty lethargic. Like the energy's dipping rather than rising.
On the side of caution.
You know what? Screw it. I'm going to throw out another message to the Oracle.
Okay.
I'm going to just quickly ask, can you feel something in the air? Everyone is feeling tired rather than energized.
You just get back. I can't feel a thing, but I have been busy and still am. Please excuse me.
Well,
What did she say?
Blah blah blah. Busy. Whatever.
Basically, I'm in a meeting.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Yeah, she can't really feel anything, but it's still a little bit too convenient. So if if we want to do this, let's do this, and at least we've done what we needed to do. At least we've satisfied our own curiosity and our I suppose our duty.
Well, it's getting late. We can always camp here for the night and keep watch, and then leave in the morning, regardless of what happens.
True.
Okay, so
Well, the child seems to be watered and fed and sleeping, so yeah.
Okay, so you shift for the night. A couple more hours go on. After about another 30 minutes to an hour, everyone seems to have been seen to, and like the guard kind of just thanks everyone, says that the Oracle will rest for the evening now before they start their journey again in the morning, and like closes the tent and stays in there. Another 30 minutes pass. Nothing seems to happen, and then off in the one side where people are gathering, you hear a scream.
Great.
Can I see which direction it's come from?
Yeah, you can see it's where a few of the people are gathering in at one of the market stalls, like the jewelry stall. It's that direction.
I slide down off the tent.
Do we all go, or
I'll stay here. You guys go.
Do you want to keep watch, Nim?
Can do. Unless
See if
you want to
anything else
stay here
happens?
with Runt.
I'll stay with Runt. You're faster than me.
Okay.
So yeah, you two run over. There's a bit of a commotion over there now, because everyone heard this scream, and they come over, and at the jewelry stall, as you get up there, you kind of see this little this halfling woman is kind of holding her hand, and where she's trying on a ring, the hand itself is it's turned to stone, and then she's kind of screaming, and she does she looks around, turns, and kind of makes eye contact with you, Ness, and then slowly and just completely turns to stone.
I cast Detect Magic.
There is no magic on there now. You don't sense there's no magic coming from the ring.
Okay. That's concentration. I'm holding it for the next 10 minutes unless something tries to break it.
Yep. Well, what?
And I am now looking around actively for magic in this area.
Okay. You don't see any magic, but what you do get is a few more, one after the other. In a bit of a short space of time, you hear lots more screams coming and commotion as you look around, and you see more people are turning to stone, just dotted around the entire camp.
And do I catch any magic on this?
No. You get kind of an aura about it, it's an effect of something, but there's nothing you don't. I don't know the limitations of detect magic, but it doesn't look like a spell. It's someone with a wand, for example, throwing petrification at them.
Could it be a beast?
Nymph, where you look around, you can't. Again, you don't see anything moving between people. You're scouting at top, and you look and you can see these people, and none of them are passed by something even quick moving, unless it can it's invisible or something like that. But nothing. But people suddenly just kind of shout out, and they're just kind of turning to stone, slowly at first. And then it kind of just catalyzes, and they're just completely... Not every single person, but at different intervals. Within people are turning into stone statues almost.
We need to get back to Mercy and Runt.
Okay, Mercy and Runt. While you're there as well, you can see this happening. Because the whole kind of courtyard is in a bit of anarchy right now. And you can see, people are, actively, turning to stone around you. One after the other.
Right,
What
well,
the hell?
Some of them are running, to go to, their carts, and they'll, turn into stone halfway through, there, and then the statue will kind of just skid across the ground and just stop in the dirt. Like everyone, like it's kind of mass hysteria right now. Everyone's panicking as different, like their friends, and things are turning to rock.
Just a quickie. Does the petrification sort of like, does it spark any recollection of like when I was almost petrified? Does it? Is it a similar?
Make a nature check for me, or no, medicine check.
Oh, good. Oh, that was so close to whatever, but still 25.
25. It looks similarly organic. But if you remember, you were bitten, and it was a wound. That slowly...
Oh no, I got the splashback.
Oh, you got the splashback. That was it. Yeah, it was kind of like something caustic, and then it was like alchemical almost, or more organic than like poof, and you're stone. What you can tell is like no one person is like, except for some people, it starts off with a hand or like a side of their face, and then they'll slowly, like within the next 30 seconds, they'll be stone, as if there's a point of origin. But you'll see other people that are just like, have been lethargic and then just slowly kind of just like stiffen up, and then everything all together kind of turns to stone, like not one specific area at once.
Oh no, it's something. How much did you drink, Runt?
Not enough to take me out of this fight.
No, that's not what I'm on about. I'm just wondering if either something has influenced the food and drink of this place. Because things could get very bad very, very quickly, and I don't have the means to do anything about it. Tits.
I'm sure if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. Maybe
not. But at the end of the day, these are halflings. You're a freaking minotaur. Your constitution.
It's very kind of you to notice.
Do I notice there's any pattern in the sort of people who are getting like petrified? Is it only halfling? Is it halflings mostly? Is it like? Is there any pattern, or is there like no?
It seems pretty random. Like some like dragon. There's dragonborn that arrive. Some of them are turning to stone. Some of the halflings are. Yeah, it seems to be random. There doesn't seem to be like a race that's being affected more than others.
So I'm heading back to Mercy.
Okay.
Yeah, same here. I'm looking around for any sort of like tracks of any animals or beasts that could be causing it.
Sorry to break the immersion, but your door just like opened eerily, and then you just saw a tail just along the bottom.
Yep, exactly as you said. I'm looking for a beast.
Yeah.
With a tail.
And then one appears.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you're looking like yeah. I won't make you make another perception check because you all rolled amazingly for your watchers. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be any, like, you're looking around and like some people are turning pretty much at the same time almost. So it's not like you don't know if there is a creature doing it, but you can't see one.
When I get back to Mercy, I say, I don't see anything magic.
I doubt you would, Dave. It's probably in the food and drink.
I've heard of creatures being able to change people to stone, but I can't see any trace of any.
Well, not too long ago, I was almost petrified due to getting accidentally poisoned from a wound off a mutated beast. I'm worried that whatever devious schemes were being worked upon may have travelled further west now.
I was thinking of the idiot with the manticore having dropped off a cockatrice or something.
Well, there is that too, but I doubt it.
Okay. with all the commotion going on, like everyone's kind of at this point, it's like I say, mass hysteria, like running around. Malison runs up to you and just kind of tugs on your like the bits of your armored like skirt area. It's like, are you okay, friend? Are you okay? What's happening?
I'm well, Malison, but I'm afraid I don't know what's happening. The best thing we can do is stay together and try and figure out what's going on.
Well, okay. Wouldn't the why didn't the Oracle tell us this? Will she know? She knows everything, doesn't she? That's what she does.
I don't know, but can you bring me a glass of something that most of the people were drinking, and a few pieces of food that people were eating? Don't touch them with your bare hands.
Okay. No, I won't. Okay, thank you. I hope you're okay. And he's like, kind of stands there, like still kind of holding on to you. And he's like, and yeah, he slowly, just gradually changes to a grey colour, and then his eyes just kind of look at yours, Runt, with like this confused kind of look on his face, and he just freezes into stone as he does so.
Mr. Runt, I don't feel so good.
Not cool, man. Not cool. The feels. I tenderly try and extricate myself from his grip.
Yeah, you managed to do so.
Just take a long, forlorn look at him. And go like, we need to figure out what the fuck is going on.
We need to look at the Oracle, and I need to look at the food and drink and see if anything magic has been done to it. While I still can.
I'll check on the Oracle. You find some food and drink.
I'm going to go with Nez.
I'll go with Runt.
Okay.
Split the party.
Always. So yeah, Nez and Mercy. Do you say you're going to find a load of food? Yeah.
We're going to try and find the primary source of the food and drink. If there was like a central store.
No, it was just lots of sellers were selling food. Like it was like individual people selling different things.
I'm just looking around and seeing if I can find anything magical.
Okay. Yeah, you look around. There's not many things magical. There's a few like very simple like enchantments on some people's items, like lock boxes for like arcane locks, or some of the guests like have things shining on their belt, like things like that. But you don't see anything like specifically. You go to the different food stands and things like that. You go back to where you had the pig and stuff like, and get some of that. What would you like to do once you have said food?
I'm taking a few bits of it and putting it in a bag because I can't test it right now. But I'm also looking around to see if there's anything magical that looks to be near or on any of the food or beverages.
Okay, nothing on the food or beverages. Like nothing that pops with your detect magic.
Mercy, I don't see anything that pops with magic, but I picked up pieces of stuff. If you can detect poison on them?
I'm just double checking to see if I actually swapped anything out when I was swapping spells out the other day.
Because I wasn't using it very often. Bear with me a second. I want to make sure I'm just thumbing my spell book now. I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, come on, spell book, work! See if you think. Well, look at me, I did. Yes. I don't know why. I just thought, oh, screw it, let's try and stuff. I do actually have detect poison and disease.
Okay. Do you kind of just hover your hands over the food?
It's a 30-foot radius from myself.
Oh, okay, so you don't even have to do that.
And again, it's a concentration spell, so I can literally just go meh for a while.
Yeah, you kind of the pair of you kind of do a sweep with your metal detectors and your Geiger counter. But yeah, you like hover near the food to see if and go from stall to stall, and you get to the last stall and still nothing pops on like poison or anything on the food. Okay. Nim and Runt, you say, are you heading to the tent, did you say?
Yeah, go check on the Oracle.
Okay. The tent is closed and the guards aren't outside.
well, I force the flap and enter.
Okay. You like force your way through and go in, and as you do so, you see like the two guards are there, kind of just stood at either side of the figure of the oracle, and she kind of. But what you see is she has her hood down, and in the place of hair, you just see a writhing mass of snakes.
Oh, fuck.
And she turns around and goes, "Oh, well, had to happen eventually, I suppose." And she pulls down the bandages over her eyes. And you will make a con save next week.
Damn it.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week with the campaign for whoever is around. Hopefully we'll have a Chloe with us as well. You might need her. But if not, we hope she feels better anyway. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Again, if you have a Twitch Prime or an Amazon Prime and you could throw us a free sub, we would appreciate it. Check out our social media for our giveaways so we can give something to you. Other than that, I don't have anything else to announce. I'm just going to leave it on that massive cliffhanger because I'm a DM and that's what I do. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. And remember that the gods are watching, but try not to keep eye contact with them for too long because you might end up being turned into stone. And we'll see you next week. Bye.